Hey guys, so you planted a garden. Now what do? You put in so much work of planting, tilling the ground, buying all the seeds, whatever fertilizer you put in or you bought or you're doing. And now what do? Things are growing, but how do you maximize the harvest? How do you deal with the pests and everything that's coming in? And that's what today's video is all about. If you're like me and like printables, there'll be a free printable, a checklist down in the description below or in the pinned comment as well. And it'll cover actually over 3 different months, and it comes straight from my book, Seed to Plate. So let's dive in. So you worked hard, you planted everything, you trellised everything, everything's starting to grow. But what is it that really needs to be done to have a really great garden? The first thing I always suggest is really being present in your garden, showing up, taking a walk through it all the time, because this is when you're going to be able to catch things. You're going to be able to catch things that are growing. You're going to catch things that are not growing. You're going to be catching bugs. Do a lot of squishing of potato bugs or whatever else comes and starts attacking everything. It's really the time that you're going to be able to start figuring out what's going on and catching it. It's like being on the front lines. What's really going on, and what do I see the problems that I need to address? Maybe what planted and then didn't sprout, so you need to replant. Or what if you need to do some succession planting and stuff like that? So really just literally just kind of coming out and walking in your garden, taking a look at what might be biting your leaves, nibbling at your leaves, or destroying it completely, and taking the steps to go ahead and counter that problem that's going on. And another one is kind of like having a different perspective in the garden as well, that I always get amazed by when I go do it myself too. So when you're walking in your garden, you're literally like looking down at everything. When you start to sit on the ground or like literally like look up and like up from a different perspective, you will see really what's going on. Because so you can come and walking out in your garden right now and be like, there's nothing sprouting, there's nothing that I'm growing, nothing. What do I do? But if you start to look underneath all the leaves, that's when you're going to see the beauty of the little flowers coming on, maybe the little pods coming on. This year I was having a bad day and I go out to my garden and I'm really frustrated. And then I see a banana pepper that's ready to be picked that I didn't know was happening at all. And I literally started like tearing up in my eyes because I was so happy. I'm like, it's a banana pepper. Finally, it is here. And that made me very happy. Okay, so let's talk about some other things that we need to be doing. So you're addressing all of the pest issues. You are having a different perspective, looking at what's going on. You're trying to catch any of the problems. You also need to be staking. In your first month, you need to be staking up your tomatoes if needed. I use hog and cattle panels that work really well. You also need to be, I use hog and cattle panels to do all of my pole beans as well that you see behind me here, these beauties. These are some blue Iroquois beans that are new to me. I always grow my famous purple potted pole beans as well. Creates a fabulous arch that you can grow on. I use the hog and cattle panels for my tomatoes as well. Any fencing for cucumbers. You don't need to have those type of things, but it helps out really a lot, because you can maximize your space and you can get you can maximize the harvest as well, because you're giving them all that space to go ahead and grow up. My son also last year and this year, he literally just takes big broken sticks in the ground, maybe have some like twigs on them and stuff like that. You got to kind of secure them up with some twine, maybe tie them to something else. But that's a free, easy way to go ahead and get something to start climbing up on it, like your cucumbers, your peas, your pole beans, and stuff like that. So getting everything staked up prior to looking like this, or a big tomato plant, because then it's too big and you're squashing things and you're getting in the way and you might be breaking off limbs. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you are do ahead of time prior to. A lot of times I do it. Actually, I like to set up my structures first and then put in my plants and my seeds and whatever else is going on. But so if you haven't done that, that absolutely needs to be done in the first month. Towards the end of the first month, I like to go ahead and start fertilizing if necessary. If you didn't already have a lot of like compost or organic material already in your garden, you will need to go ahead and start fertilizing. And depending on what you use, just read the back of it to say how often you need to be fertilizing. So like for me, in the first month, I will fertilize with some compost that we have, or some manure that we have that's safe to use from like the sheep or from the pigs. not from the chickens because that is too hot. The nitrogen is too much, and so it'll burn the roots, so you don't want to do that. So we want to get fertilizing. You can get a fertilizer, a liquid fertilizer, like a fish fertilizer, which I recommend. I get it from Azure Standard. I'll leave the links down below. And I like to do kelp spray as well. And that really helps for the first, say, month and a half that you're going to use it for, because what it's doing is actually you're spraying on the leaves, and it's helping all the green stuff here. They're solar panels. It's the green foliar stuff. It's helping the solar panels get bigger and larger so that it can collect the energy, the sun from the energy, which is absolutely brilliant how God designed stuff. So I like to use kelp spray as well. And then I will only do that for the first about a month and a half. And then I really want the fruit in the seed or like the veggie production to start going on instead of the actual. I'm done with the leaves. Okay, I still need my solar panels for my stuff to grow, but now I want to concentrate on feeding from the bottom, so I start actually getting nice tomatoes or beans or anything else, or cucumbers and zucchini and all that beautiful stuff. So I'll do that only for the first month and a half. So then going into so in the first month also, you want to make sure that you are replanting anything that didn't sprout up, so you can have enough time to go ahead and get the harvest. And especially here in the Midwest, it happens really, really quick. We only have like a little over 100 days, so you got to try to get everything in. So you got to really be conscious of the time framing as well on some of it. So replanting anything, fertilizing things, catching any of the pests, and taking care of what you need to do. If you need a free beginner guide, you can go to my website as well, foodcrew.com/gardening, and you can see all the steps, free downloads, and all kinds of fabulous stuff that you can go ahead and learn from as well. Into the second month, you're going to want to start taking out, like if I use markers in my rows, because I just do straight rows, I don't do any block planting or anything like that. Then I need to start removing all the strings that were my guides for my seeds, because you can't see them at first. Because then when this stuff starts to get too big, then if you need to remove them out, they're in the way, and you might be ripping some of the plants. So you start to kind of remove stuff, clean stuff up. That way it's not like this huge production at the end of the growing season, right? You just do things as soon as things time allows, and you can keep going, keeping on top of it. Each month, you're going to just want to have that perspective, checking for the bugs. And another big one that you need to be doing is the fabulous, fun weeding. Okay. Weeding is really, really important. Now, you can see I have weeds behind me because I can't keep up on it. But what I want to do is take care of it for the most part. Okay. Sometimes it looks really, really great. And sometimes it's like, oh boy. And later on in the season, it will look like, oh boy, because I gave up. Because at that point, everything is big enough that it is growing, and I just need it to finish production. But at the beginning, I really want to keep the weeds away from all the plants because it's stealing the nutrients. So what I do is just chop and drop, okay? You don't need to get rid of it. If it's already gone to seed, you don't want those seeds all over, then I go ahead and make weed tea with it. And that's a simple compost that's free and easy. You're using a 5-gallon bucket, and you're getting rid of your weeds and everything like that. If it's not gone to seed, I just go ahead and do all the chop and drop, and just drop it there. It's organic material. It's helping keeping moisture in the ground as well, which is really great. And then if it's getting overwhelmed, because it does happen, just start at the base of the plant and then just keep working your way out. And then eventually go and, do your rows, or have people help you do the rows if needed. Another way, if I was to have space in here that's right behind me and it got really weeded, I literally would just kind of push mow my pathways. And I think that would be totally fine. It's then blowing all the grass clippings and everything like that and all the plants. So that helps as well, just kind of keep things fertilized and everything like that. So I think that is good for actually, so download that checklist that's in the description. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them here. I am an absolute lover of gardening, and I think God has just done such he just blows my mind, And I just keep a reminder with you. Not every year will be the same. Not every crop will grow the same. Not every garden from here to my neighbors is going to be the same each year, or just even next door to each other. So keep that in mind. When I always say, when God provides, I preserve. So one year I might get a gangbuster green or purple bean harvest, and I put up tons and tons of quarts of beans. And then maybe that next year they kind of fail. Well, I'm glad that I took the time to preserve what I know we're going to eat that year before, right? And then that way you're always ahead of the game and it's not going to be totally out of control. So again, if you have any questions, just let me know. Download the checklist below, and there's all kinds of fun gardening resources for you if you need to go deeper and farther. And of course, there's always the Academy that I have lots of really deep, in-depth lessons on all types of homesteading things, of beekeeping, gardening, herbalism, and everything like that. So you can check out the Academy as well. And I thank you for joining me today.